Hey Ed,
Hey, I was just trying to unmute myself here somehow.
it's all good.
Yeah, how are you? Can you see me okay?
I can't see you at all. You look like a black hole of nothingness.
Okay, let me see if I can figure that out. Let's see. Stop video, mute, recording. I don't want to record anything.
No,
Let's see.
you should be.
Chat participants, speaker. Should have, let me go to,
I'm gonna click. I'm gonna try this. Try that.
start my video.
Yeah,
Okay.
try that. Nope, your
Oh,
camera isn't.
you know
Camera's.
what? Hold on. There we go.
Hey,
I have my little, this is my little,
safety.
yeah, it's the grumpy cat.
There
And I just tape it over the camera lens so that just in case somebody's trying to peek in and and watch it, they can't do it.
you go.
God, I had it there.
It's all good, man. You got a you got a little Bill Murray vibe looking to you right now, my friend.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, is
You
that
look like
cool?
you could be in Caddyshack. I like it. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's up?
How are you, my brother?
Uh, you know, busy.
That's a good thing.
It is. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Hey, Natalie. I'm good, man. Running around crazy.
Yes, I know the feeling at the moment, especially.
Well, it's raining right now, so you don't want to get out there too much.
No.
Or it was raining anyways.
Ed, I got soaked this morning. I went to an inspection and they didn't have the electricity or the water on.
Nice.
And nobody was answering. So I drove to their office and had to park 2 blocks away. And Noah and his ARC weren't taking hitchhikers, so I got soaked going to their office.
What was their excuse for that?
They didn't have one. They didn't have one. So
I love when people take care of their business and make sure that the details are handled.
yeah, man. So it's all good. My person's going to go back out later. So Natalie, I'm jealous of the giant clock on the wall. Like that's hold on, you're muted.
That wall was so empty. I had to find something to put on that wall.
If I had a clock that big, I would just be ready to leave work all the time. Like, come on, hand, move over.
You see my back is to it, right? So
That's
I don't see it all day.
I love it. So Ed and Natalie are brand new. They're just joining on. Mark's been around with us for a little while. Kaylin, we can't see or hear you, but he's been around for a little while. And I know we got some more people going to be jumping on here. So we'll give them a couple minutes and then we'll kind of jump in and just kind of discuss. So if you
Well, I was
didn't,
through my emails. I'm glad I saw your email you sent to me, giving me some notice on this.
sure.
Because I've been kind of running around too. I haven't been looking at my email very much.
It's all good. So you can straight up book it, Dano. The first Tuesday of every month, we do a little group huddle meeting just so we can keep each other on task, and
That's
I
good.
can update everybody on numbers and figure out what we're missing, what you guys need, that kind of stuff.
Did you get the questionnaire that I sent to you? I did it through the DocuSign. Did you receive that?
Yes, sir. Yep. So I just need to schedule a time to go through it with you.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a dirty word.
What's that?
DocuSign.
You're so bad. Hey, Mel.
I was working on, we talked over the weekend about that deal I was looking at, and I was putting an offer in yesterday.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, I was about ready to pitch my computer. DocuSign just was not cooperating.
Were you having issues with the templates?
It was screwing up. It was screwing up like when I would transfer the documents to the envelope
Mhm.
to send them out to be signed.
Mhm.
It wasn't transferring properly. The document, the documents weren't what I had done. I had saved them all when I put them together, and then every time I would go to transfer them over, something was wrong with them. They had the wrong checkbox done, but when I went back and looked at the original copy, it was correct, and I don't know what the heck was going on.
I would recommend do it the other way,
What's that?
right? So I would go to the envelope first, add the templates, and I do everything backwards. Instead of doing the documents first and then adding to the envelope, I go to the envelope, build the documents
Can you
in
do
the
that?
envelope. Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
you can create the envelope and then do the documents in the envelope?
Yes, sir. It's easier. It's kind of a workaround, but it's definitely easier.
Because what I ended up doing, because I was, time is of the essence. I eventually ended up printing them out, getting them signed, and then scanning them back in to send to the agent for him to present to his buyer.
Okay.
Because it was just, gosh almighty, I think I sat there for a couple of hours playing with that.
So, as a reminder, and this is to everybody, right? As a reminder, after 15 minutes of working on something, stop and call me, right? Because you will cause physical harm to computers, bodily harm to
furious.
yourself, alcoholism, like all of these things are bad. Okay. So if you get stuck, call me because I can probably help you solve the issue.
Well, I won't say that I spent a couple. I mean, between writing the documents
Sure.
and then trying to get them, it was probably a couple of hours after I put everything together.
I understand.
But yeah,
Okay.
I was pretty livid by the. I wanted to try and get them in by noon, and that didn't happen. So I ended up having to push it back to 3 before I could finally get everything and got it signed and sent it over.
Okay. Did you hear back yet? Did you guys get it?
No, I gave them until 3 o'clock. I'm sorry, 5 o'clock tomorrow,
Okay.
and have not heard a peep.
Okay.
So I keep looking at my phone too. I'm waiting to see if I get an email response.
Yeah, your wife is impatient too, I assume.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I know we got a couple more people that are jumping on, but let's get started. First of all, thank you for coming and being on here, right? Just having 8 of you here makes my heart happy. My goal is obviously to get as many of us into these meetings as possible, because I think it's really important that we kind of all touch base. It gives us an opportunity to mastermind around some topics, see what you guys are missing, see what you need, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you're able to turn on your cameras, I would love to see your faces, just so I can know you're alive and breathing and all those good things. So first thing I want to share is last month's numbers and kind of where we are. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. I'm tracking per my coach. Hold on, someone's texting me trying to get in. Let's see what Rich has to say. Yes, it is on KW Connect. All right. So I'm tracking sales and leases because last year I tracked them all as one thing, and then I had to go back and back them out, and it became a giant pain in the you know what. So I have I've gone through And for those of us who are new, you don't know where I came up with these numbers, but we've been tasked with trying to come up with around $250,000 worth of company dollar for the year. So in doing all of that, I reverse engineered numbers and I set the first quarter, so January, February, and March, as sales goals of 10. Okay, sales goals of 10. Now, going into the next quarter, and this is kind of what I wanted to talk about with people today, was our next quarter is trying to get 15 sales per month. If you look at January and February, right, we fell just shy of our goals on the sales part. We had 9 in January and we had 9 sales in February, but we had 7 leases in February. And if I look back real fast, we had 8 leases in January. So we're, I don't have a lease number, right? But those obviously help us. So currently, unless any other numbers come through that I was unaware of, we're going to finish February with a closed volume of just at 1.4 million, 9 closed sales, GCI, that means money in your guys' pocket, of $47,990, and then company dollar of $10,480. So little bit of an uptick, right? Going into February, going into GCI, company dollar, they're all trending up. What we need to make sure of is, as we move into the second quarter and then transition, because we're already starting to work on second quarter and we're already starting to move into third quarter because we're in a 90-day business, right? What you guys are doing now is going to show up 90 days from now. We've got to understand, what's the market doing right now? Somebody tell me what it's doing.
It's shifting. We're kind of losing inventory.
Seems like it's contracting.
What do you mean by that, Mark?
It's just getting smaller. There's less listings out there. It seems like less are coming on board. I'm seeing expireds go through the roof. So, listings that are falling off. And from some people I've talked to, it sounds like showings are even down a little bit right now. But I anticipate that's probably going to change real quick.
Okay. So we're starting to get a little bit of a shift. We might be moving back towards somewhat of a buyer's market, right?
It's going to happen really, really fast.
It is. The switch is going to happen fast.
Yep.
But here's the deal. Right now, we still don't have a lot of inventory, right? So
Right.
A lot of people are scared to list because, well, yeah, I'm going to sell my house, but then where do I go? So
Absolutely.
So what do we do about that? What's your conversation?
Buyer's market, doesn't that mean that prices come down?
Yeah, so the true delineation of a buyer's market versus seller's market is 6 months worth of inventory. Anything less than 6 months worth of inventory on the market is a seller's market. Anything more than 6 months is a buyer's market. And right now, just kind of in general, most price points we have like 1 month, right? 2 weeks, right? There's not a lot of houses. So we're definitely in a seller's market right now. When it becomes a more of a buyer's market, the prices are going to go down because of supply and demand, right? More houses coming on the market. So now buyers can choose more. So sellers are going to have to drop their prices some.
Well, and what you're going to see is number one, you have when a lot of the forbearance runs out, you're going to probably see a little more foreclosure coming back on the market. And then once the COVID starts to slow down, which looks like it might be starting to, you're going to have all of that pent up demand of people that have been sitting on those houses for all of that time. And that's why I said, I was talking to somebody that works, he's a big wig with Mass Mutual. And we were talking about that exactly, and T-bills and all of that sort of stuff. And he said the exact same thing. beginning of the fourth quarter, he thinks this is going to shift like really, really hard. You're going to have a flood of inventory just really quick. It's going to really blow people's minds.
So now the conversation is, right, how do we get people right now to decide they want to list? Well, in your writing of your contracts, you could write it where it says contract is contingent upon
Right.
seller finding a home to buy, right? Everything's negotiable. So I'm not going to give you perfect wording on that because that's broker world, right? But you can definitely put it in there that says this sale is going to be contingent upon my people being able to find a suitable house for them.
Well, and
Right.
the other thing you could tell them is that your house is probably worth 5 to 10, might be 5% more than it might be in 6 months to a year.
Sure. Right. We never know what the market's going to do. Right. So I always like using the Disney stock analogy. Right. What's Disney worth right now?
Oh my gosh, it's going through the roof. I think
Right.
it's 196.
Sure. Before they launched Disney Plus, what was it? More or
Like,
less?
way less.
Way less, right? What was it 6 months ago?
I
Less,
think
right?
close to 100.
Right. So now it moves, right? What if the head of Disney gets caught having an affair, right? Or some illicit material is found on his computer? It's going to drop, right? It's going to go down. It'll rebound, but it's going to go down. We have no idea what the markets are going to do, right? We can start to look out and go, okay, the housing market is definitely going to fluctuate. And we've started to see it in interest rates already. What are the interest rates doing for the last week and a half?
Skyrocketing.
Right? They're up in the threes now, right? Low to mid threes, right? Now, is that panic for most of us? No, right? A lot of us still understand that like 6% not too long ago was a really good percentage, right? So it's not a panic mode. But for those people who have been looking at the interest rates and they've been down in the twos, right? People are locking in at 2.1, right? I heard somebody locked in at a 1.9. I almost had a heart attack, right? Like that's just amazing. That's free money. But for those people, a 3 is a lot. So now we got to have these conversations with our people saying, hey, if you're really thinking about this, like now's your time to take advantage of this free money based on these interest rates. Okay. So we want to really, really, really push that. Now, to that end, if you guys haven't been looking at KW Connect, and I put this on Facebook too, I just added a bunch of trainings that I'm doing for you guys, PC only stuff, right? So we're not going to be in room with big time agents that are going to be intimidating us, right? Just us. So I added a contract writing so we can practice writing a contract, right? I've got Brandon Meir from One Home Inspections coming back next Thursday. We're going to go through the inspection report, and then we are going to write the inspection response so we can practice doing that. We're going to use DocuSign so we can actually do it. And that way we can find where our errors are, where our mistakes are, how we can best do it. I put on there, I think tomorrow I put a basic command training just for us, right? So for those of us who are struggling just with getting started in command, jump on with me and I'm going to do that, right? I need to know what you guys want and need so I can bring it to you. I sent out a request for class topics, and this is what I came back with for people, right? Property inspection response. So we're doing that next Thursday. Appraisal and government loan flags. So I'm talking to my lenders about somebody who's going to come in and teach that. 3 was anything command. So I'm starting that tomorrow. Number 4 was owner financing. I already reached out to one of my lenders to talk about that one. 5 was the clerk of court's website and how best to navigate and use that. So I gave that to Sarada. She's going to get somebody to come do that for us. Number 6 was DocuSign. It's doing some DocuSign training. So I'm going to kind of build that in with our training so it's actually user friendly. 7 was negotiations. We taught that yesterday with Nick. That is on the closed Facebook group. So there's a link to Nick's class that he taught. And today for Ignite was negotiations. So I'll post that on our Facebook page and my YouTube channel as soon as I download it. And then number 8, and this is why I was reading this list because Mark, you made me think back to it, was forbearance and short sales. So again, I gave that to Sarada for her to put together somebody to come teach that to everybody, because that's going to be a huge, huge thing coming up, right? Because a lot of people said, okay, I'll put my mortgage in forbearance or deferment and I'll push it, and they still are unemployed, or they didn't bother to read the fine print that says you're going to be charged extra, or you're going to be charged all at once. There's a lot of people who are going to get hammered with that, right? All of a sudden, the mortgage company wants $8,000 because you deferred in forbearance, and now they say, I want all my money, and they go, I don't have $8,000. Foreclosure, right? So, what other topics? What can I add to my list? What can I add to my list? What do I need? What do I need for you guys to be successful?
Well, I'm new to the residential side of things. So one of the things I wanted to learn how to do is to understand the psychology of the listing appointment when you go talk to a homeowner and you want to list their property, things you want to say, things you don't want to say, how you want to approach it, that sort of thing, the kind of things that they want to hear, that are factual. You don't want to make stuff up, but, and I got a little bit of that on a class that they did online last week, but it was just a seller. Yeah, it was a seller appointment actually, but which I guess is the listing appointment. That's something that I need to really kind of focus on so I can get familiar with the process.
Awesome. So a couple things on that. The 16th of this month, let me double check to make sure I'm not lying to you. Yes, in 2 weeks, I put on the calendar for listing presentation practice. So I would love as many people to come to that as possible, right? And when you come, if you're not new, like have your listing presentation ready to go. Okay, so that way we can actually role play a listing presentation. That way you get the practice, the rest of us can see it, and we can give constructive feedback, right? Hey, Mark, that was really, like, I loved when you said this, but I was a little confused when you did that. Like, why did you say it that way? Does that make sense? So that's Tuesday the 16th.
So do we need to have our listing go to the Connect? And that's the other thing I'm kind of learning how to navigate through that website, because you can go down and they've got all those templates that you could use to create a listing presentation.
Sure. So I'm going to show you, Ed, because you're brand new and we haven't had our meeting yet. I'm going to share this with you. Trello, and a lot of our people have seen this already, but you and Natalie for sure have not. This is our PC Agent resources. If you haven't gotten the link to this yet, you will. But under listing resources, we already have a Market Center listing presentation made for you.
Okay.
So when you open this is a full listing presentation that you can use. It's not branded to Ed or Mark or Natalie or Anthony or anybody. But if you got a listing call tomorrow, you could take this with you and use it for your listing presentation.
But it's not that difficult to alter either. I took
Correct.
that one and made a couple of changes and kind of put my name on it a little bit.
Sure. Right.
But yeah,
So-
that was much easier than using the one in Command is really nice, but you're going to spend time getting that one together.
Sure. So this one is from Command and then added to. So if nothing else, it's a jumping off point for you.
Right.
So, Ed, we'll get together on the phone. I'll make sure you've got the link to all this and you're good. You're ready to rock on that. Okay. All right. Other things. Thank you for sharing that one, Ed. I appreciate that. Who else needs what? Don't be shy.
My brain is on overload right now, so I'm just trying to sit back and take it in right now. I did go through the emails, looked up some of the websites, got on the Connect, just trying to make myself familiar with the Trello and everything. Trying to do the homework we talked about yesterday. So for right now, I'm just on overload. I'm just trying to figure it all out right now. It's kind of like day one of kindergarten.
Yes. So do me a favor, everybody who has their camera on that's not new, look at Natalie and go, "You're not gonna die."
You won't.
It
It's
It
a
gets-
lot.
it gets better, but it's a lot.
Yes, I'm realizing that. I
And-
always
and-
thought, oh, you just put on a little nice outfit and go show a house. No.
You
Much
kind
more
of need
it
to
now.
you kind of need to make a list, and I don't know if you talked to
Oh.
Anthony about that, but
I have
kind of
couple-
prioritize,
yeah,
you know,
doing that too.
what you want to work on, because if not, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, I just bought me a big whiteboard. So this weekend we're just gonna organize and put everything on the whiteboard from top to bottom.
Nice. I mean, you can see behind me, right? I got two boards
That's
behind
what
me.
we're doing. Yes.
I got a cork board to my right. I got another whiteboard to my left. I have a huge whiteboard at my house, right? And guys, full transparency, right? Full transparency. This call completely has changed my mood today
Okay.
because I was overwhelmed today. Like today was one of those days that there's just so many things going on in my world too, that I just was feeling kind of, ugh. And I'm just, I was getting to the point of, I don't know if I'm bringing in enough value right now to my people. Where do I need to go? But you guys showing up and just participating makes me feel better. Right? So
Good, we're depending on you.
thank you. I
Yeah, we
appreciate
need
it.
you.
I'm going to crawl under my desk for a minute. Don't mind me. It's-
Absolutely.
I say that to say it's okay.
Can any order pizza?
Hey, Mel.
What's it? Oh, hey.
It's okay. Like Mel's got a munchkin tackling her right now, right? It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to have that day, right? Where there's a lot going, especially when you're new, right?
Mhm.
And it takes a while to get into the groove.
Yeah,
Right.
don't get stuck on it like me.
Tell us about that, Pam. Help her out.
Oh my gosh. Well, when I started with Keller Williams just over a year ago, shortly after that, my daughter gave birth to our first grandbaby. And I was just so overwhelmed that I was frozen, literally frozen. Couldn't do a thing. But really and truly, it boils down to what three things, Anthony?
Give me my three.
First of all, okay, one of them is self-limiting beliefs. The other one is, I'm not sure, not keeping a schedule.
Are you talking about the gap?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's still a lot. Let me just explain. It's still a lot of stuff to know, but all of this stuff that we're learning and trying to get on board with is in the meantime teaching us. So take one thing at a time and grasp it. and then take the next thing and grasp it. And so don't think that you have to learn it all and do it all in one day, because that's definitely not even possible. You're setting yourself up for failure. But limiting beliefs is one thing that can stifle you, but also being overwhelmed and not trying or learning how to decipher through all of this information. Just take it one step at a time. That is all you can do. You're a human. And I've been there, and I was frozen for, I don't know, ever since COVID took over for probably about 6 months or more, I was frozen, literally. I couldn't do a thing. Don't get stuck there like I did.
So Pastor Pam on the pulpit. I like it. Preach it. Here's the aha that they don't know about Pam, right? So Pam and I had a conversation, and we were talking, and she had a connection with her church. And I sent her back to her church to start asking. She wanted to do volunteering, whatever. Long story short, right? That connection where Pam realized this isn't about selling stuff. It's about being in relationships with people that you want to be in relationships. Pam, would you say that was a pretty good catalyst for you to get started again?
Yes. I mean, that's only people I'm working with right now. I found out by accident that that's my farm, actually. Right?
Yep.
That's my farm. And I was wondering, I didn't even know what I was going to do as my farm, because, you know, a lot of people might start in their neighborhood, but I don't live in what you would call a neighborhood or a subdivision. I live on a street with one person. There's one neighbor. So, but by accident, I realized that my church is my farm, because we do have a lot of members, and I've been there for a long time, and everybody knows me and trusts me and loves me just like I love them. So it's a win-win situation. I'm just there for them, really. And they know that my heart is pure, and that I'm there to help no matter what that may entail.
That's right. And that started her down a whole different path. And now all of a sudden, right, Pam got a listing in February. She's got another listing going live here in the first week or so of March. Like, the momentum starts to go, right? So this is something that, let me share this with you. And you're going to have to forgive my skills at drawing, right? But let's see here. We'll do a line here, and we'll do a line here. And then we'll do, see if this works. So this is time. And that's success. All right. So forgive my rudimentary mouse drawing, right? But this is a thing from Gary. He points this out quite a bit, right? Your success and your business is going to have very, very small incremental growth for a long time, right? So success happens gradually and all at once, right? So a lot of us get stuck here, and we get really frustrated because we're banging our head against the ceiling. And I'm working and I'm working and I'm working and I'm working, and I'm looking at some of you right on my screen, right? I'm staring right at you. You know who I'm talking to, right? And we're banging our head and we're going through it, and then zoom, it takes off, right? It takes off. So there's somebody, I thought that they were going to be on the call today. But it's David Dirks, right? So David all of a sudden came in full-time as real estate with his wife, Jennifer, and they've been doing lots of little things. And now all of a sudden he's got like 3, 4, 5, 6 listings that are starting to, like, all of a sudden he's getting this momentum, but he's putting in all the work down here, and he didn't get frustrated. He knew it was coming. He knew it was coming. He knew it was coming. And now it's starting to take off. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, does that make up for the frustrating and the head banging and the where's it going to come from and when's it going to come and all that? No, 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 it doesn't. Let's be honest. And it's coming, right? And the success is coming, right?
I've seen it. I know of those agents that, knowing how long I've had my license and how I've stopped and started. But when I first got my license, I could think of two people right off the top of my head that are now considered big time, that, we got our license right around the same time.
And what's the difference between them and you?
Oh, well, they were hammering, and it takes that little bit, but once it starts going up, it goes up like a rocket ship.
Sure. But in and of it, right? Do they have a bigger work ethic than you?
As far as real estate goes, yeah, because I wasn't doing it full time all of that time.
Yeah,
They
but
were all about it.
yeah, but they put the time in, but it's not
Right.
like you're lazy.
Well,
Lies, right? You're not. I know how much you do, right?
um,
So what's the difference? It's time on task
right.
over time, right? Time on task over time. Tot. So they put more hours in, and now they're up here. There's nothing different between them and you, Mark. It's just a matter of they were able to put more time and effort and energy
Right.
in over that time.
Right.
Right? If we stack you person to person, work ethic to work ethic, knowledge to knowledge, there's nothing different.
Well, and there was something I wanted to say with the new folks, when you, like what Pam was saying too, about how you mentioned how some of these, when you have these classes with these other big time agents and how intimidating, trust me, there isn't a person on this planet or a real estate agent on this planet that knows everything. They all make mistakes. Even the biggest number one agent doesn't know everything, because I've seen that too. Nobody, you'll never master it completely.
Nope. And here's a dirty little secret, right? Why do really successful people always still have a very small circle? Most of the time, they don't want to let people in, right? And I have this conversation with rainmakers, team leaders all the time. We don't want to let people into our world and let them see how the sausage gets made. Not because we have a trade secret, because we feel that if they see the stuff behind the scenes,
Right,
they're going to look at us and go, this guy's an idiot.
right,
He has no idea what he's doing. He's running this $1 million program on a shoestring, a paper clip, and a prayer.
right.
That's every agent, right?
They all started where we are now.
Absolutely.
So
Right?
we have the same capabilities.
There's nothing different, guys. The only difference between you and Jason, our number one guy out of Ponchatoula, is he sold way more houses. That's it.
So I
Right?
got a whole bucket of paper clips.
You holding it together with a bunch of paper clips. That's my guy right there. We have to just do the things, right? So here's my coaching moment to throw at you guys for a minute, right? This is my pointing a finger at you a little bit. We need more hands-on training. Agreed? Right? The doing of the stuff, right? So you get more comfortable. Everybody agree with that?
Yep.
Okay. Now, all that being said, only one person took advantage of my empty house in Hammond to go put boots on the ground, look at it, evaluate it, and turn in a CMA for it. Okay, so this is my coaching holding you accountable. When I'm putting stuff together, guys, take advantage of it. I promise you, I'm not doing it to make myself look good. Okay? Come take advantage of it. You can go to this house. I own it, right? You're not going to, if you want to walk around it for 6 hours, you're not going to bother the owner.
Dude, I was supposed to stop there yesterday, and as soon as I got out to my car and took off, just that fast, I forgot. How
it's
is
not-
is that a thing even? I don't get it.
If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist.
I'm going today.
All right. So here's why I want you to do this, right? Because there's a progression. This makes sense. There's a lockbox on it. If you're brand new or you haven't been to a whole lot of houses that have Supras on it, you can go practice. How do I open the Supra? Then I can walk around so I can get an idea of what it would be like to show the property. Then I can look at it and use it to do a CMA to compare it to figure out pricing. Then we can use it to write an offer. You could use this and say, Ed goes and takes a look at this property. Ed goes and takes a look at this property and says, okay, Anthony, I really need to practice my listing presentation. Okay. Well, guess what, Ed? That house is now a for sale by owner. I'm the owner. Come do your listing presentation and try to get me to list with you. He can practice his listing presentation.
Good idea.
Right? We can use it for doing an inspection response, right? I could use a inspection report from another house and say, okay, here's the report, even though it's not really for that house. Let's practice the inspection response. We can practice negotiations. Go ahead, Ed.
Where is this house you're talking about?
It's in Hammond. It's at 125 Sherry, Sherry, Sherry Drive.
Is it okay in the neighborhood? I guess, right?
Yeah, it's in a little neighborhood. It's in College Drive Apartments, or College Drive subdivision. Sorry.
Okay.
Just so you guys know,
nobody living there?
no, it's empty right now. Just so you guys know, I'm holding a for rent open house there on Thursday afternoon from 4 to 6:30. What? I can't hear you, Mark.
Are you leasing that to college students, or who's your target?
I honestly don't care. I'll rent to college kids all day long. So small family or college kids is usually the best one. So I lived in this house in 2013 when I was coaching at Southeastern, and then I moved out of it and I put a long-term tenant in it. So now this will be only my second tenant going in there ever. Right?
My daughter's
Anthony,
going there to Southeast.
Hold on. Go ahead, Mel.
it's 1125 or 125.
125, 125.
Okay, and I could go anytime.
There's a super on the door.
Okay.
You don't even have to schedule through showing time at this point because I didn't list it. I just put the super on it so you guys could practice. Mark, what were you gonna say?
That's why I was going to add what the address was. And wait a minute, you were coaching at Southeastern in 2013?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. That's when we won our first title.
did not know that.
Yeah, man. I'll bring the ring. It's
I
blingy.
think I was in school at the time.
Okay. Make me feel old.
Well, no, it made me feel old. The oldest person in the dang school.
That's all right. I was the youngest person teaching there when I was 24. So now we've got all these opportunities with this one house. So you guys can go practice it, right? We've got the inspection response class next Thursday. If you can come, because we're really going to look at an actual report and we're going to actually write an actual response, right? So we get so busy, right? And I'm off my soapbox, right? We get so busy trying to do the things, right? And then we get stuck. Well, put it in your calendar to come do these trainings. My goal is to try to get these trainings where they're hitting all of your guys' learning styles. You're hearing something, you're seeing something, you're doing something, right? We're hands-on training. So that way it's not the first time you've seen it when you have a buyer or you have the listing. Does that make sense? So, who has questions on that, or that spawn an idea of something else you want me to set up for us to be able to do?
I just had a question on this thing coming up on this the inspection, writing the answer. So as agents, we don't write the inspection report, correct?
No.
That's farmed out to a professional who does that, right?
Yes, sir.
And as an agent, we look at the inspection report and we read it, and what sort of response are we supposed to, come up with? It's just is
The
what it is.
client.
Yeah. So you're gonna give the report to the buyer, right? The buyer gets a copy of it, and then you go through it, and it's the conversation about, and then we'll talk more about this in the class, but it's the conversation about, okay, what's concerning, right? And we've got to walk that fine line, because we're not inspectors, we're not general contractors, right? Our realtor hat is on. So we can't go down the path of, oh, you should definitely ask for this because this is a problem, right? But it's what's concerning to Ed versus what's concerning to his wife, Natalie, right? I'm picking on you two, right? You're brand new, right? Well, what's concerning to Natalie is probably completely different than what's concerning to Ed, but you guys are buying the house together. Let's figure that out. The other thing I'll share before we just get into the class on that Thursday is, I love the way that one of our former PC agents described this, right? And he used this with his clients. And the day he told it to me, I said, I'm stealing that and I'm absolutely using it forever. He said, okay. So Shannon, when he and I were going through one of his inspection reports and we were having the same conversation, he said, well, I need to make sure that I can relay to my clients there's a difference between safety and like big ticket items versus honey-do list stuff. So think about that for a minute. There's big ticket safety items and honey-do list items. And I was just like, my God, that's profound. That's such a good way to explain that, because you're going to get people who, there's no GFI, right? By the kitchen. Well, that's a safety issue versus there's 2 outlet junction boxes in the attic that don't have a cover on them.
Right.
Well, those are 39 cents a piece at Lowe's and take exactly 15 seconds to put on. Like, don't put that in your inspection response, because that's just something extra to be irritating to the seller. Like, you can totally do that. But getting a GFI and paying the electrician to come out and do that, like that's probably something that needs to be taken care of. Now, is there a difference between a buyer who's an 85-year-old woman who lives by herself and has a cane versus a 27-year-old buying his first house? Yeah.
Mhm.
The little old lady might need to ask for a whole lot more than the 27-year-old guy who's got a bunch of buddies his same age that are like, oh, we'll knock the fence down. No problem.
Or a single mom.
Correct. Right? Or a single dad with 3 kids. He doesn't have time to do it. So he may need to ask for more. So now that can be a conversation between you and the other agent. Hey, Ed, I just sent over the inspection response. I wanted to give you a heads up. They did ask for, several things to be taken care of. Nothing major came up on it. They did ask for some nitpicky things. And I'm gonna be honest, the reason that we're asking is I got a single dad with 3 kids. He's an accountant. He doesn't know how to do anything repair wise, and he just doesn't have the time to do it. So if you could kind of communicate that to your sellers, I'd appreciate it. Like it's that simple to have the conversation. So now when Ed goes to his people, he'd be like, look, They ask for a bunch of stuff. They're not trying to be jerks about it, but he's a single dad. He doesn't know how to do any of this. Like, it's going to cost us $100 extra to do all the stuff. And you know what? I'll climb in the attic and put the covers on the junction box for you. You know, that's how we keep these deals together. That's how we do the extra stuff. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Awesome. Anything else? Any other comments, questions, concerns, topics you want to talk about? We got 8 people on here that we can mastermind with right now.
On your when you had sent me a text or an email, whatever, asking me to schedule the 2 30-minute sessions back to back.
Yes.
When I look at your calendar, is that is there like, shows me what's available? Are those times that I see available? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And if by any chance, right, things start getting like where you can't get on my calendar for an extended period of time, call me. Because I have some blocks of time that I have blocked off that I
Okay.
can rearrange some things. This is to everybody, that I can rearrange some stuff to open up more time slots. And the more people that we bring into the program, I will start opening more and more time slots for options. Okay. Other questions? Kalen, we haven't heard from you. Talk to us, my friend.
I'm here.
Hey, brother.
I just don't have anything specific that I can think of. I know I did respond to your text with it, but like I mentioned, there's more personal, probably more specific things that I'm looking for that I just don't know quite maybe what the word is or what the name of it is yet.
Sure.
To get my focus in correctly. And I've been incapacitated for the last month, so trying to get back into it. And
yeah, you sound 1,000 times better, my friend.
Getting better on the way there.
I love it. Okay. Well, just do me a favor, get on my calendar so we can meet and get you back going as best we can. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Steve, welcome aboard. Hey, buddy. You're muted. Unmute so you can talk to the group.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Sorry, I just saw the email. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So Ed and Natalie, for sure, right? You guys are brand new. Steve still got the new agent smell on him too, right? We might have taken the tags off in the last few weeks. So just to give you guys ideas of opportunities, how do things come about, right? And Kaylin, you and I have talked about this before, right? Steve's been working, right? He's been coming to Ignite. He's doing the class stuff. He's found out that he really likes door knocking, right? As a lead generating source, right? So he's going around to neighborhoods and knocking, right? But where's your first check for real estate coming from? Steve.
Oh, me?
Where are you getting paid for your first real estate?
My first real estate was showing a property, and they decided to make an offer on a property, and I get a percentage of the agent's pay commission.
Awesome, right? So what did you do for that check?
So I went and showed them 2 different properties, and I opened them up. They walked around. I just stood there, and they walked around, and I showed them the other property, and that's what I did.
Sweet, right? So he did a showing assistant, right? Is what he
Yes.
did, right? So we got a call. He was right here. I said, Steve, you want to go show a couple properties, make some money if they write a contract? He's like, sure. He was standing right here. Go. He went and showed it, right? He did it again yesterday, right?
Yes.
I don't know if they ended up writing a contract on it yet, but he got another opportunity, right? That's the dive in, and he's engaging, right? He's doing all the things. So when I see him and I know he's doing the stuff, like, it makes it really easy for me to go, hey, you come here, take this opportunity and go. Does that make sense? So dive in, play at a high level, ask lots of questions. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and your feet and get rained on and whatever, right? Dive in, do the stuff. Call me if you have questions. Call me if you have concerns, right? For people who are participating at a high level, I'm starting to get a bunch of leads that I'm paying for. So I'm gonna start giving those out to people to start pursuing leads for people who are participating at a high level too. So I'm not above bribing you, right, to do your job to help you make money. So I don't know if I'll get it for March.
Like cash?
Yeah, like cash. like even better, right? How about I have prizes, right, to give out? So I'm gonna put this out there now so you guys can help hold me accountable to it. In April, I want to do a massive action day, an MAD, a massive action day. So we need to start helping me to get this all laid out for April. What a massive action day is we will all come together in one spot. And it's like a reverse bold 100. We are going to advertise this out to all of our spheres, all of our people. Get them to call in on that one day. They've got to answer certain questions, right? So what are we going to ask? Database stuff. Name, email, birthday, address, right? And when they do that, they're going to be registered to win a thing, right? So I'm going to go get like a really nice prize. Like I'm thinking like a Pit Boss grill, right? Talking something nice. Why are we going to do that? Because if we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people calling us, and you now just got all their database info, and you do your job and you follow up with them, should we make more than a few $100s worth of a grill? God, you would hope so. Right?
Yes.
So I want to put together a massive action day. I can't do it by myself. It's a waste of time if only one or two people do it. Let's really start pushing. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Can you explain the purpose of it? I mean, I know what you mean, but you're kind of I pretend like I don't know a damn thing because I don't.
Love it.
Okay.
Sure. So what dictates how much money you're going to make in real estate, Ed?
I guess the number of closings that I do.
Sure. How are you going to get numbers of closings?
Oh, by, listing the property and selling it through another agent, or I represent a buyer and my buyer buys it.
Sure. Where are those clients going to come from?
Right. That's what we would go out and find those buyers through different methods, including, I guess, this thing you're talking about.
Sure.
But what I was trying to figure out is my question was, when you say, why would we tell somebody to call in to begin with? Oh, to win the prize? So
Right.
If I tell my buddies, hey, just call in, you might win a prize, and you got to give them all your contact information, they're going to be kind of, I don't know. I'm not even looking for a house.
That's
But-
okay. Sure.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure this out. What would
Sure. Sure. So the answer that I was going to keep digging you into was this: the size of your database
Yeah.
is your
I've got
business.
a database of about 10,000 people.
Perfect. Right. So
Yeah.
if you look at your database, right, if you've got 10,000 people in it, 6% of those people are doing a real estate deal this year. That's 600.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all commercial real estate people too.
Sure. So let's even do it at 1%.
Yeah.
Right. You still got hundreds of thousands of dollars of commission sitting on the table. Right. So the reason that we do a reverse bold, right, or a massive action day is to create that excitement, right? My wife will spend 30 minutes filling out an online survey for a free chicken sandwich. Okay? I would rather play in traffic, but she will absolutely do that. Okay? If you tell somebody they have an opportunity to win a $400, $500 grill,
Mhm.
they're gonna want to do it.
Yeah.
So now the phone rings. Hello, this is Anthony Keller Williams. Hey, I'm calling to register for the grill. Awesome. We've got a few questions that you need to answer to be registered for it. Are you ready? Cool. What's your name? Da-da-da-da. What's your phone number? What's your email? Awesome. If you'd like to be entered a second time, would you be willing to give us your address? Sure, it's blah, 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 blah. Awesome. Hey, as part of this, we're offering to anybody who's interested, we're willing to do a free home evaluation. And we're happy to set you up on a neighborhood informational email that lets you know about the price values happening in your neighborhood. Is that something that would be of interest to you? Sure, or no, thank you. Cool, no problem. You're absolutely entered. We'll be doing the drawing tomorrow at 6 p.m. live on Facebook.
Anthony, are you
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
create a script for us to follow, like what you just said?
Sure. Absolutely. Right?
And is it going to be like an open house, or it's just the agents are going to be there and we're just all going to be taking phone calls?
We're all going to be taking phone calls, right? We're just going to get people to call, right? So I say we do it, to be honest with you, I say we do it in my office because I have 2 landlines as well, right? So now we can give out cell phone numbers, we can give out landlines, we all start bringing them in. So now the phone's just constantly ringing, right?
And when do we start advertising for it?
So that's where I'm going to pick the date in April, and then we're going to start blowing it up at least a couple weeks beforehand, right? Because we want to create that excitement. So now Ed, the big reason for this is now all of a sudden you have a huge database, right?
Mhm.
That's getting added to, right? And now from the team standpoint, you still own the contact. Let's say your buddy Bill calls you, right? And he enters or whatever, right? Are you friends with an agent, blah, 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 right? We get that. Well, Ed owns that contact, but now it's starting to show up in the team command. So now we can be sending out some of our team smart plans to help stay in contact with these people. And it all comes from Ed's name, right? So now they're getting a birthday text from Ed. They're getting a neighborhood nurture from Ed, but it's going through my team account to help that. And then when you graduate, you take all your contacts with you. Right? I'm not trying to steal anybody's contacts. I just want to help automate all of this. So now we're staying in touch with your people better. Now all of a sudden, Steve gets a sale out of that, and Rita picks up a listing, and Ed gets 2 commercial guys that he hasn't talked to in 3 years, and you go help them buy a mall. Yay! I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. It's 2 o'clock. I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. Does anybody have any last minute questions or comments?
I'm good.
We're good?
On the process of the coaching and what we're doing, you just said something about a graduation. So what is the typical length of time that we go through the coaching process with you?
So your contract is until you cap or 1 year.
Until I cap.
Yep, until your market center cap. So you're on a team, you're with Brent, right?
Right.
So you have a half cap. So until you pay your half cap.
Okay.
And we can talk more about that individually too, just so you understand the whole deal.
What if I cap? What if I want to stay longer?
You absolutely can.
Possible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely can. So I've had some people that have stayed with me longer than their time.
Okay.
No worries. Unless you're Steve, and then I'm kicking you out. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. As always, Please call me if you have any questions. I really, really, really appreciate you coming on here and participating and bringing energy. You shifted my whole mindset today. So from your coach to you guys, thank you very much. Talk to
See
you
ya.
guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.